Hi guys. So I finally got my sister to have this sit down with me. A lot of you guys always want to hear her side and how she dealt with an addicted sister, a homeless sister, and a mental health issue dealing sister. So she's here to give you guys some insight. Introduce yourself, sister.
Hi, my name is Savasia.
Don't mind my nephew in the back, y'all. She just had a baby.
Okay, so my name is Savasia, and I'm the sister that she's always talking about. Yeah, so we're just gonna chat a little bit with you guys.
Um, my first thing is to say, like, a lot of people don't know the inside of addiction, and then a lot of people don't understand addiction. Also, family members deal with a lot and go through a lot. So I just want to know, like, how did you, for a couple of things. First, how did you feel knowing you had a sister that was addicted to three different things, in and out of prison, dealing with mental health? What toll did that take on you as her number one supporter?
Okay, so it was hard. Um, when I first found out, I couldn't believe it. I think somebody told me that he was smoking. They said it was woolies or whatever it's called. And I was like, what's that? And it was like, oh, that's where you put the crack and start the weed. And I'm like, nah, she ain't doing that. And so I was like, okay. Then
I don't think, not to cut you off, I don't think you ever even asked me.
I never asked you.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I never asked you. I never asked you if he was doing it. That's just what what was word. Yeah, so when I first found out, I was like, nah, she's not doing that. Then fast forward, getting deep in, and I was just like, no, this cannot be life. I was, it hurted me. It hurt me. I couldn't understand it. I was like, why, how? We grew up in like a great environment. We got anything, had everything. So it was just like, why? Why would she want to do that? Like, she saw what her mother and her father went through. Right. Why would she want to choose to do drugs?
That was
and hard drugs at that.
Right. That was
not like it's just weed, everybody do that. But it was just like, why would she want to do that?
So, see, I know for one that I've put you through a lot of things for about 16. My oldest son is 15. For about 16 to 17 years, from jail, phone calls, not sleeping at night and all of that. It take me through that a little bit.
What, with you being in jail?
With me being in jail, homeless, you coming to look for me, take me through that. What was that like on not a daily basis, but
going through that? Okay, so when you first was getting locked up, you used to call me begging, always want something, always need something, always want a 3-way phone call. I never used to come see you in jail. I just said, nope, you put yourself there, I'm not coming. Then, once you got pregnant with Arion, that's when that was the first time I ever went on a visit. Because you called me before, I was like, girl, I ain't going up there. I don't have time for that. And when you got pregnant with Arion, I decided to go visit you. I remember the day I went or whatever. So you going in and out of jail was just like, bro, this girl don't want to get it together. She's not going to get it together. I just tried my best to be there for you, but also
give the tough love.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm going to still be there for her because that's my sister and that's how we was raised. But she better get it together because I'm not gonna give her no money for it. You ain't gonna do it in my house. You ain't gonna do it around me. Just get yourself together, get your life together. Pretty much that's basically what I always wanted. For you to get your life together, because I knew always in the back of my mind that you could do it. Right. Like, it wasn't a question. Like, I'm like, she could do it. I don't know why she don't want to do it. Like, just, all that you gotta do is just get it together. Sometimes you just want to choke you and be like, just get it together. Like, you don't want to get it together. Like, you want to be living like this. I used to always tell you
all the time.
When you did come around, I used to be like, oh, you see how pretty you look. You don't like this. You don't like to look clean. You don't like to get your hair done and your nails done. You don't like that feeling.
Always.
Just so you could see, like, it's more to it.
To life.
To life than just being out there in the streets or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
So take me to, not me, but take them to the part where you was coming to look for me. What was your mindset? How was you emotionally?
So me and my cousin, mostly it was just me and my cousins. We would go 145th Street, riding around, looking for you. One time, it was one of my birthdays, actually. And it was, I don't want to name people names, but it was
the crew,
my friends, my work friends, plus my cousins. And we were just like, oh, we should go see where Sherelle at. We should go see if we see her. And we got in the car, we was riding around. And we just ride around looking for you. And one of the guys was out there that I know who the person was out there. And I was like, oh, do you know Michelle? And he was like, do I know Michelle? I'm like, yeah, you know a girl named Michelle? He was like, no, I don't know no Michelle. But just that look in his face, I told my cousin, I was like, he know her. He know who she is.
Everybody did.
That was one time. Then it was another time. This time was crazy time. We went to look for you. It was a lot of us, and we went and we was asking around, and then everybody was pointing us to this brownstone building, and they was like, she in this building right here, da 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 da. And when we got there, was a girl sitting in front of the brownstone. It was like, oh hi, do you know a girl named Sherelle Michelle? And she was like, yeah, I know her. I don't like her. And we was like, okay, we just looking for her. We just trying to see, if you seen her. And I'm like, that's my sister. We just want to know if you seen her. And she was like, yeah, she ain't here. And she always starting and she always want to fight people and da-da-da. And the lady went off. So she told us because it was a brownstone. And she told us which one to go.
I was there.
We was banging and knocking on the door like we was police. And the guy was like, we was like, we looking for Michelle. He was like, there ain't no Michelle in here. I don't know no Michelle. And we was banging on his door. And he was like, you better get away from my door. If you don't get away from my door, I'm going to shoot you. And next thing you know, I heard a clunk, clunk.
The gun cop.
I was like, ooh, child, it is time to go. Let's go. And I just was like, bro, we about to get ourselves killed.
Looking for somebody that don't want to get help.
Exactly. It was one time like that. Then it was another time, me and my cousin were looking for you. And we got held up in the Chinese store.
They said you gotta take her with you. Yes, you gotta take her now.
That lady, she was not playing, and she was like, "You need to take her. I know where she's at. I'm gonna send someone to go get her." But they was taking like a long time, and me and my cousin looking at each other and like, we like, let's just go. We was gonna leave.
Y'all excuse the background. Sorry.
We was gonna leave, but she was a big lady, and she was like, y'all ain't going nowhere. And we like, so my cousin's like, call my boyfriend at the time, well, who's now my husband, but call him because this girl looked like she ain't gonna let us go. He need to come get us. But it wasn't that she wasn't gonna let us go. But it was that she really felt that Sherelle needed to get from the area. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you came. Long story short, you came down the block. Mm-hmm. And you kept walking past the Zagor Chinese store like you ain't
like
see
I
us.
ain't see y'all because I had to go
we
smoke.
calling you. And then that's when you came. And I would never forget, you had my baby fat jacket on. It had sleeves on the side, like a zipper. Mm-hmm. And you was like, oh, you was talking. And I'm like, what are you doing here? You don't want to leave? Why? I'm looking for you. You taking so long. I know they done told you. And you was like, no, they didn't tell me I was going to go. And when your arm went that way, the crack pipe flew out. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Disgusting.
And I'm like, that just fell out your pocket. And you was like, no, that ain't fall out my pocket. That been in it. And I said, I've been in this Chinese store for about an hour. That was not there. And I'm like, you just need to come on. Let's get it together. Let's go.
I was pregnant at the time.
Woo.
With my oldest son. Remember, I was on
yeah?
I was with
Cream. Oh, what are you saying?
It's all right. He know. I was with Cream, and we moved to 145th together, and I was pregnant with Nazia. Yeah, when that happened.
So I mean, it was crazy. I have a lot of stories. Like, there's a lot of stories. We could go for days and hours about me going to look for you with family members, some family members and some friends. We always on the same page, basically wanting you to do good, trying to get you to do good. One thing I would say is I never gave up because I just was like, it gotta be more to life than this. And I don't know, I guess it was just something in me that was just like, nah, you can't give up on her. Like, just keep going. Continue to be you, strong, and one day she gonna get it together.
Emotionally, with the stealing from you, with the fighting on you, with the cursing you out, how did you deal with that emotionally? Like, I know it must have been hurtful.
It was hurtful, of course it was hurtful, but I am also, well, you know that. People don't know, but a lot of people probably do know. I'm a person that I don't really think about things too tough. So it happened and moved on. Whatever. It is what it is. Type of thing.
Right.
Yes, it was very hurtful. It was. Remember that time when I had the party in our friend house, and
I took the $100 out.
I had just gave you money. I went to the store, gave you money. You saw that I had the money, and I had it, and we was having a good time. My friend, she was holding my bag, but I think a song came on, and everybody had got up.
And I used that as an opportunity to take the $100.
And I realized the money was gone, and I
had to rush out.
Yes,
I rushed out.
I was so upset because I probably made my friends feel very uncomfortable because I had everyone empty out their purses, empty out their pockets, all the guys that was there. I was so upset and had everybody like emptying their pockets. And I remember my best friend calling me saying, "Baby, Sherelle got your money. Her and her boyfriend is arguing on the train platform about it." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, she had it." And I'm like, "But I searched her too." And I just was like, "Where the hell did she have this money? Because I searched her too."
Well,
everybody got searched. So that was
that was
a time. So it was a lot of hurtful things. But at the end of the day, I think, you just coming around and being around and me knowing that you was okay was fine for me. I used to get the phone calls. Your sister, she out in the street. They're gonna kill her. She's in another neighborhood now, and she's terrorizing the neighborhood. You gotta come get her. And I used to be like, why the? And that was like 1 Sunday in the morning. I'm like, why would you call me with something like that? Now I'm up. And I can't sleep. I gotta go to work and da 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 da. Yep. It was a lot of sleepless nights. I would say worrying. I just used to always pray and just say, Father God, protect her. Keep her safe. Don't let nobody hurt her. Even though you've been through some stuff out there,
yeah.
but.
And you came to every time the doctors called you. Face smashed in, unrecognizable sometimes. Face this big, looking like that episode of Martin.
Yes. I was like, I walked in that room and I seen your face was like, it was like smashed in but swollen at the same time. And I just cried with my aunt, and we just looked at each other like crying, and I was just like, and then the social worker lady was there, and I'm telling her like, she need a program, y'all gotta help her, she need a program. And the lady was like, okay, yes, we're gonna get it. I waited there till she called all the places for you to go to. I called, then we left, and I called the next day, and she told me, oh, she left with her uncle. Her uncle came and got her. And I'm like, her uncle? What uncle? She don't have no uncle.
I called the crack man. You got to come get me, child.
She was like, no. She said that was her uncle. I said, miss, I just told you she don't have no uncle. And she's like, well, we couldn't hold her. And I was so upset. I'm like, bro, her face was just smashed in.
Literally.
Looked crazy and
literally smashed. Eyes shut. Like, crazy.
I was like, bro.
Crazy.
This is crazy.
The life of an addict is crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
I want to ask maybe two more things. So now I'm in and out. I'm using drugs. I'm in 1,000 programs, 1,000 rehabs. I'm in and out of jail. I'm in prison. Robberies, criminal sale of a controlled substance, assault, all this stuff. Now I'm a persistent predicate. I'm a felon. And it's like, oh God. So now, Arion's with you. Let's go to two things I want to know. How did you feel having to come get Arion to be a full-time mom with no kids of your own at that time? And how do you feel now?
Wait, how I feel now about what?
About just being
first part
is Arion. When you had to come get him and become a mom full-time, how was that for you?
Well, first of all, when they called me to get him, I remember, I was a store manager, so everybody knew, an evening store manager, so everybody knew not to call my phone before 12 o'clock. And my phone rang, and I was hanging out the night before, and I was just like, who the is calling my phone? Everybody know not to call my phone, so they called me, and they said, hi, Miss Jones, we're trying to see when can you come pick up Baby Jones? And I was like, come pick up Baby Jones for what? And they was like, oh, for her ticket. And I was like, no, I just spoke to her last night.
Tier 3 ticket, which is the most highest ticket you can get in Bedford Hills Correctional Facility.
And I was like, come get Baby Jones. I just spoke to her yesterday, and she said they didn't make a decision. And the lady said, no, they made a decision.
Fast.
You have to come, or one of the family members have to come and pick up Baby Jones. Then I went to the facility, and that was the hardest day. That was the hardest day. Just seeing him cry for you was just heartbreaking. I was like, to have to take a child from their parent, because that's the only person you know. Yes, he used to see me because he used to see me on the visits, because I used to go up there
all the time
and visit him and see him
all
and all
the
of that
time.
and bring him all these clothes, and they used to say, you gonna get him raw.
Child, I said, they said you gotta visit again. I said, Lord, let me go to this visit.
Go, so he knew who I was, but it was just the point or the part of having to take him from you, or whatever the case may be. So how I felt, I was scared, but I knew this was the right thing to do. Like, I knew it. I called my mom, and I was like, Ma, they said I gotta go get the baby, Daddy don't think it's a good idea. He said I'm young, and I'm manager, and I'm doing everything I gotta do in life. Why would I want to get another baby? Here's another child that she's just giving away for somebody else to take care of.
Number 3.
Or whatever. But I just felt that. I called my cousin. I was like, tell her. And she was like, let's go. And we went.
She was always there with you.
Yep. And we went to the jail. Me and her went inside. My father stayed in the car. and we went to go get him, and I was just like, oh. And then once I got him home, it was like, Lord, child.
Who child?
And like I always say, if I didn't have that manager at the time, I would have been fine. But thank God, that manager that I had was the best manager and still my friend to today, because the whole while I worked for Pathmark and having Arion, they made it very comfortable for me, and very easy. Like, they changed everything for me, for him, and I would always be appreciative for that. But
very grateful.
You know, it was what it was.
He was 4 months at the time, and now he just turned 9.
Mm-hmm.
9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've been clean. I've been clean since he was 2, going on 3. Right? Because he just turned 9. I have 6 years. Well, he was 3.
No, because I was about to say,
he was 3.
When he was 2, that's when I called the parole officer on you.
Yeah, child. We gonna go. We can't go into that because we got a lot of time. We got about 10 more minutes. But yeah, you did call my PO. But I got clean. He was 3. I like that you always kept the door open though. You always let him know the difference between that's mommy, I'm auntie. Mm-hmm. You always kept me updated, whether it was through social media or whatever, because you knew I would go up there and I would look.
Yeah, I would tag you.
Right, so I can see exactly. Mm-hmm. So I can see the different stages of his life. Now he's 9, and when I first got clean, I was very selfish. I remember telling you that. Oh no, because he got to come with me, and he was like, "You cannot do that. You got to see what he wants." And I'm like, "But he's young. He'll understand." And he was like, "No, Sherelle." Mm-hmm. And then I had to go home, and I had to cry, and I had to scream, and I had to holler, and I had to accept that you were right. Especially when he said to me, you know, I love you, mommy. I do. And I asked all 3 of them, and everybody was like, Malik and Isaiah was like, well, Mom, we big now, so we going to go to college. It don't make no sense. What do you think, Arion? And Arion was like, I can't leave my auntie and my uncle. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hurt your feelings. I said, you're not hurting my feelings. He said, but I really want to stay with my auntie and my uncle. And I asked God to give me the strength to understand and accept. And he gave it to me, and I'm okay with that. Because I know that you guys gave him a way better life than I could at that time. And even now, because it's just like me and him, hey, Mom, how you doing? Be gone. But it's cool. And that's where I'm at today.
But I think that day you wasn't understanding what I was trying to tell you. I was just trying to say.
But I was in my own way.
Yeah. I was just like, you clean, but you could go and relapse tomorrow. Right. What happened with these kids? Right. They got to go back to you go over here, you go over here, and you go over here. Right. So I was just saying, you could get them anytime you want. Just leave them. They all have their own room. They all very spoiled. Mm-hmm. And I used to say, you gonna get a 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom where they all can have their room and still have what they used to. Mm-hmm. And you wasn't trying to hear me.
My whole thing was in the back of my mind, I didn't want to be like mommy.
Yes.
When she got clean, it was just like, oh, all right, they good where they at. I didn't want that because it was, even as an adult, it was still that hole missing. Different children deal with things differently. For me, that hole from her not being around was different. Even with daddy, like I said, growing up, that was my best friend. So when I had to leave at 16, it was like that hole. I didn't want my children to grow up and be like, she got clean and then she didn't even attempt to get us. So that's why, But when they let me know, I just was like, all right, God, I see what she's saying now. Mm-hmm. And even though, like I said, it took some time, but I'm definitely okay with it. Just child, when they spend the night, I said, oh, what's today? Oh yeah, y'all gotta get up at 9. They said, "Ma, you said 2." No, 9. My job called me.
Everybody
gotta go. You gotta go home. You gotta go home. You gotta go home. I'm telling you. So now that for the last, because I think you're like 10 minutes. So now that here we are, you married, child Arion, and I'm on my own for the first time in my 37 years. I'm living on my own. Job, 6 years clean. How does that make you feel?
Happy, at peace, comfortable, at ease. now. Whereas before, when you first wanted to move out, I was so annoyed and frustrated, and I'm just like, she is beasting to move out to do what? I'm like, she don't want no rules and no regulations. That's why.
She want that man.
I'm like, she want to go with that man. Yeah, that's exactly what I used to say. She want to go with that man. No. But as time went on, and you still was doing good, and you got stronger as a person.
Right.
And you just started doing good. You worked and was working and continued working and doing good and coming over and doing that. And I was just like, okay, all right. I guess she got it. I guess she.
Not to mention, my brother-in-law told you I was gonna be okay.
Yeah, he did.
He said, "No, she got Mr. K. She all right."
He was like, "This the longest shower I ever been clean."
It sure beat that 30-day mark.
And I was like, "Thank God."
Yes.
So now, I am okay. Like, I know that when you leave, and I think too, I'm always on the phone with you 24 hours.
Right. FaceTime, child. I'm surprised.
You at work, I'm at work.
I'm surprised. Child, I'm surprised.
And
still.
So I speak to you all the time. I know what you're doing.
Right.
All the time. But I don't look for it. Before I used to
look for it.
Call you because I need to know.
Yes.
But now it's just a habit. It's just like, oh, I'm calling my sister, or you call me, or whatever the case may be.
Oh, but don't get it twisted, y'all, because if I don't answer,
yeah.
Oh, gotta call Mr. K now.
Yeah,
let me call him. What's going on?
Where's Sherelle? I call.
So you know you're gonna lie, Jack.
I call, yeah. He be like, she ready? She sleep. Or wake up. I need to hear. Let me hear. What she say? Okay, call me back. But, like I said, thank God. God is good. If you have anyone that is dealing with addiction, don't give up on them. It's not easy. It is hard. We understand that. But if you want good for them, you have to help them get to that good. Mm-hmm. It may take a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's definitely not going to happen overnight. If you can, just be their support system. Be there for them. Talk to them. Let them talk to you. Try to think of different ways to help them stay clean.
Right, because I remember when I first got clean and I was coming over here like on my overnight passes, you would do things like do game night.
Mm-hmm. Keep you occupied.
Yes, we would go shopping. We would do different things. And I remember that. And the girls in my program was like, oh, man, your sister? Man, I wish I had. Because a lot of people don't have that. Mm-hmm. Like, again, my TikTok followers, they always say they need a story time behind you. And I always tell them, I'll give y'all story time without going into details because I get down into it in the book, from when we was younger. Yeah. A lot of people don't have that support. I had your support financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And when you have that in someone, you need it. Because it's like when I got clean and I went to the program and I asked God, just help me. Just if you could just take the taste out of my mouth and I'll do everything else. And whatever you do, please, Father God, just let me and my sister be okay. Let her be okay. That was my main goal. Like a lot of my therapy sessions and psych sessions was like my sister, my psychiatrist used to be like, well, that's the motivation you use. And some people be like, oh, I do it for my kids, or I do it for myself because I like it now. But as I kept, like, the more clean time I got, the more I wanted to make you happy, because I'm like, man, I've made you cry for so long. So when we be laughing and joking and stuff, I'll be like, I go home and I'll be on that bus cracking up. The people be looking at me like, what is wrong with her? But I be thinking because we a fool and stuff like that. But like you said, if y'all got family members out there, don't give up, man.
Listen,
can't.
It's not easy. It's not easy. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna get annoyed, and everything. But if you really want them to succeed in their recovery, they need help. They need that person. If it's not just that one person, advice to her, you got what my family likes to say, you got enough support for 10 crackheads.
That's right.
And, not saying, bad like that, but that's what I used to say to her all the time. True. And I used to say, so I don't know why you don't get it together, because your support is there. A lot of people don't have that support, but you was grateful and enough to have that support.
Right.
But we just wanted to come here, and I just wanted to come to just give a little insight on how it was for me to have a sister so close in age that you grew up with, dealing with an addiction.
And to go back for 1 second, I remember I had on a wool hat. It was the summertime. I had on a wool hat. It was the summer. My cheeks were sunken in. I had to be about 100 pounds, maybe 110. Size 0. And I was about 10 shades darker, ashy lips. And I remember you walking ahead of me. And I'm just like, in my brain, I'm like, man, I never wanted you to, that's why I never got high in the Bronx. I never wanted you to see me like that. So when you saw me, I just was like, oh.
And then you kept doing that stupid
Kanye this is?
West
this Kanye West video.
I was so
the old
frustrated.
Lady, the crackhead lady in the video.
Oh
yes.
my! And you look just like her, and I was just like, she think this funny. This is definitely not funny. And I said, yeah, take her to the program. She need to go fast. The end of the ends. Because
you
this
never
is
wanted
not,
me to do outpatient.
No, she need no outpatient. She need inpatient. And
told
don't be afraid to tell them. They don't need no outpatient, because that's what a lot of them like to do. That's like to be sneaky and stuff. No, they need an inpatient program where they can get it together.
That district attorney told me I couldn't get that 6 to 12 years. I was tight. They said, your sister said you need a program, so we're going to offer you the program. Yeah. I said, who in here? Me and my sister.
Me.
The lady said, I'm going to take it off the table. I said, oh, man.
She was really upset.
Because I could get high upstate. I ain't have, I just knew. And I was just, so I went into back. Everybody's like, yo, you took it? And I'm like, bro, they took it off the table. My sister talking about a program. And mind you, it can't be a mother and child program, because she said, I ain't taking it early on.
You called me and was like, you told that lady I need a program? I said, I sure did. Yes, I did.
I remember at the end of the conversation, though, was, can you send me some, we going to the store. We going to commissary. You was like, but you going to take that program.
You take that program, because, no, you got to get it together.
Yeah, man. It was a long time coming, but God is good.
All the time.
I think we kept God, but we did. We kept God first, and we never lost, you kept God first, and you never lost sight of what mommy told us when we was younger. Our grandmother who raised us, that's our mother, is y'all two against the world. Because when I'm gone, y'all don't got nobody. And I think, you took that to heart from little. And that's why we are the way we are. Like, I cannot give up. And whether it's a family member, a close friend, addiction is hard. I still fight every day. I can smell, taste. Sometimes I hear a lighter flick and nobody in my house but me. But yeah. So our time is up. And thank you guys. Now y'all got the face with the name.